People believe financial problems begin with money, income, expenses, investments. But the real problem hides deeper, not in the market, but in the human mind. Every financial decision feels logical, calculated, rational. But behind every number, emotion quietly takes the wheel. The brain runs ancient survival code designed to avoid danger. But modern wealth requires something different. It requires doing the uncomfortable. Most people believe they understand money. They read books, they study markets. But knowledge rarely changes behavior. Emotion always moves faster than logic. In nature, fear protects survival. But in financial life, that same fear quietly destroys opportunity. And most people never notice it happening. The first trap is not ignorance. It is something far more powerful. A silent instinct wired deep into the brain, controlling billions of financial decisions every day. Millions of years ago, fear helped humans survive. It warned of predators, danger, and loss. Over time, the brain learned a powerful rule. Losing something hurts more than gaining something new. Modern neuroscience calls this loss aversion, a psychological force wired deep into the human mind. The pain of losing $1 feels stronger than the joy of gaining $2. In financial markets, this instinct becomes dangerous. When prices fall, fear spreads quickly. Logic fades. Emotion takes control. People sell when the market drops. They abandon investments during uncertainty. They run away from temporary losses and miss long-term growth. But something strange happens during moments of fear. While most people panic and exit the market, a small group quietly does the opposite. They move toward the fear. They understand that emotional reactions often create the biggest financial mistakes. Fear of loss explains many poor decisions with money, but it is not the most dangerous emotional trap. There is another force, one that drives people to spend money they don't even have, and it begins with a powerful human instinct, the desire to impress others. Humans have always lived in tribes, and within every tribe, status meant survival. Those with higher status gained protection, resources, and influence. Over time, the brain learned to value something powerful: social recognition. In the modern world, survival rarely depends on status anymore, but the instinct never disappeared. Instead, it evolved. Money became the fastest way to display success. Cars, watches, clothes, homes. Each purchase sends a signal to the outside world. Humans constantly measure themselves against others, neighbors, friends, colleagues, and every financial decision becomes a silent comparison. But status spending hides a dangerous paradox. The more people try to appear wealthy, the less wealth they actually build, because appearances are expensive. True wealth rarely looks impressive. It grows quietly, slowly, often invisible to everyone else. The most powerful assets are not always visible. They compound in silence. Status spending explains why many people remain financially stuck. But an even deeper force drives many financial mistakes, a force connected to the brain's reward system, the desire for immediate pleasure. Deep inside the brain lives a powerful chemical messenger, dopamine. It rewards behaviors that produce immediate pleasure, and it quietly shapes many financial decisions. For thousands of years, immediate rewards helped humans survive. Food, safety, comfort. The brain learned to prioritize what feels good now over what might happen later. But modern life changed the environment. Pleasure became instantly available. Online shopping, entertainment, endless stimulation. The brain receives rewards long before consequences appear. Wealth, however, follows a different rule. It rewards patience. Saving, investing, compounding. Benefits that arrive slowly, sometimes years later. This creates a silent battle inside the brain. Short-term pleasure versus long-term growth. One promises instant satisfaction. The other demands discipline. And most people follow the easier path. Instant gratification explains many financial habits. But the deepest emotional trap is still ahead. A powerful psychological force that shapes nearly every decision. the instinct to compare ourselves with others. Humans rarely evaluate success in isolation. The brain constantly scans the environment, looking for status, progress, and belonging, and those signals usually come from other people. Without realizing it, people build an invisible scoreboard. Who earns more? Who drives a better car? Who seems to be moving ahead? In the past, comparisons were limited to neighbors and friends. But today, social media expands the comparison to millions. Every scroll becomes a highlight reel of other people's success, and the brain interprets it as reality. Comparison slowly reshapes financial decisions. People spend more to keep up, upgrade their lifestyle too quickly, and trade long-term security for short-term image. But wealth rarely grows through comparison. It grows through independence, through ignoring the noise, through focusing on long-term decisions instead of short-term signals. Fear of loss, status spending, instant gratification, comparison. Each trap pulls financial behavior in a different direction, but they all share the same source, the human mind itself. Most people believe money is a numbers game. Income, expenses, investments. But the real battlefield is invisible. It exists inside the human mind. Every financial mistake leaves a pattern. Fear triggers panic, status drives spending, pleasure favors the present over the future. But something powerful happens when people recognize these patterns. Emotion loses control, awareness creates distance, and decisions begin to change. The people who build lasting wealth rarely rely on emotion. They rely on systems, habits, and long-term thinking. Small, disciplined decisions compound over time. One saved dollar, one patient investment, one ignored temptation. Money is rarely lost because people lack intelligence. It is lost because emotions silently guide decisions. Those who understand this gain a powerful advantage. They stop fighting the market and start mastering their own mind.